right, guys, so here we have Shay using a barbell to release some tension in his calves. Now, what he's doing is called inhibition of the calf muscle. The reason it's tight, and that's one of the things that is restricting his ankle mobility, is because of the fact that the muscle is very tonic, and we need to inhibit that contraction to make sure that we can lengthen it. So what you want to do with this is spend about 30 seconds on each one. You're taking 2 inches up, 1 inch back down, and then you find those trigger points. As soon as you found one, you want to breathe through it, take about 10 seconds, and then move on to the next one. And that's what we're going to do with both legs. All right, guys, so here's drill number 2 of that ankle mobility. Now, what we're trying to do is we've inhibited the muscle from contracting and being in an over-contracted state. Now what we're trying to do is lengthen it, okay? So this is just basic calf stretching. What Shay's going to do is go ahead and drop that heel, breathe out as he's doing it, as low to the ground as possible. You can use a staircase for this or anything that's raised, it doesn't really matter. And ideally you want to be barefoot. Okay, so as he's stretching, he's just going to come up to the relaxed position. You don't want to come and do a calf raise because that's contracting that muscle and that's not what we want out of this. Then you're just going to go ahead and drop, stretch out the calf, lengthen that muscle so that it relaxes and allows for a little bit more ankle mobility when we go into our other exercise. Cool. All right, guys, so what we're doing here is it's called a band distraction mobilization for his ankles. So the main points here are that you want a band attached to a fixed, something that's fixed so that it's not going to move and cause injury, okay? You want the band at a slight downward angle, as it is here, and your foot wants to be raised above the band. Where you're going to place the band is right over the shoelaces, or where the shoelaces will be, but we're barefoot here, and it needs to come underneath the ankles. And what Shay's doing here is really trying to keep that heel down pressed against the surface, and then he's going to push his knee forward and really try and open out that ankle here. All right, so the band here is just pulling the talus bone backwards so that it allows for more movement of the tibia, the shin bone here, forward. Good stuff. All right, guys, so this one, like we said, we've mobilized the ankle a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and use that newfound mobilization, or at least a little bit more of a mobilized ankle. We're going to integrate that into actual movement that is going to be translated through to the field. So this is called the heel elevated squat, or floating heel squats. Okay, so what you're going to go ahead and do is get a very small plate. I've got 2 25-pound plates here. You want your shoes off for this. You want the balls of your feet on the plate. And I'm just going to get you to go ahead and do a squat without touching your heels to the floor. Go ahead and squat. Make sure that back's nice and straight. We've got a good form squat. There you go. And I'm pushing off the balls of my feet. Now, what I'm really trying to do here is we're lighting up the fascia underneath your foot. And we're really creating a nice stable foot position for when we go into squats, any athletic activity. This is really going to help strengthen up those ankles and the muscles around the ankle, including the foot and the calf. Straight up to the next one, boom. So here's actually how we can change this exercise. Obviously, we're going to do this later on, but for now we did it as a ankle mobilization and strengthening exercise. This one is really good for acceleration for athletes. And what it does is it teaches athletes to grip the ground through their foot, stabilize the ankle, and then actually produce a lot of force off it, all right? So what I'm doing is I'm starting with a really light plate and close to my center of gravity. And as I drop, I'm going to drop very fast, very quick, and I'm going to push this out. And as I push it out, obviously, I'm changing my center of gravity. So my foot have to dynamically stabilize my whole body, and that's exactly what you do. Let's say, for example, you jump, and then you go straight into a run. That's exactly what we're doing. So it looks like this. Heels don't change. They're right above the ground. They're not going to come up. They're not going to come down and touch the floor. So we're here. Boom. Straight down. Boom. Straight down. Boom. And all that I'm teaching my foot to do is really grasp the ground. Now, as I do it, I'm not trying to squat down. I'm actually trying to drop my whole body weight. So it's kind of like a drop straight into it. So it's drop, catch yourself. Drop, catch yourself.
Doesn't matter what weight
drop,
you have,
catch yourself.
Over time you can go heavier, or?
Over time we can go heavier, but ideally what you want to make sure that you're doing is the weight isn't too heavy, that it's going to offset the quickness of this movement. This is a quick exercise. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is, and I'm already gassed after doing one set, is we don't go any heavier than about 35 pounds. And the reason is, if you can go heavier, usually what you're doing is slowing the rep down, right? So if we can go with 35 pounds, we can go here, you've got a 35-pound plate, bang. Now if I can do that really well, I might just go faster instead, as opposed to heavier.
Yes.
Let's try and work on being faster, because what you're trying to do is train your foot to stabilize you under immense speed and power. We don't need an excess weight for that. I can literally do that with my body weight. I can do it like this, bang, okay? Or I can add a little hop, bang, and I'm stabilized through my feet. But notice how, if you just take a quick look at my ankles, tell me if throughout this movement my ankles moved up. I didn't use my calf, I used the bottom of my foot. Watch. Use the bottom of my foot. I'm grasping with the bottom of my foot. I'm not lifting myself up here as I come down to aid that movement. It requires an advanced level of ankle mobility. So the slow one needs to be perfect. That needs to be perfect before we can 100%. Exactly, because if we're going into speed training, we need to make sure that we're stable first. And the first point of contact with any speed exercise, foot. So we shouldn't be doing anything but making sure that right from the base of your kinetic chain upwards, we're stable. All right.
If you guys liked and enjoyed this video and want to take your game to that next level, head over to pearsonperformance.com and check out our amazing training programs and products to give you that edge to be that game-changing athlete. And while you're here, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe so we can give you guys hot fire training videos week after week. I'll see you guys soon.